what gets me about the Seahawks defense bump. You have two players, Quandre Diggs and Reek Woolen, who were on the field the last time this team played in the 2022 season, right? Everyone else is new, either because they're coming back healthier, Jamal Adams, Jordan Brooks, or because they are a future Hall of Famer who's coming in to help you, like Bobby Wagner, because you made a midseason trade, like Leonard Williams, because you made a high-price free agency acquisition, like Dre Jones, because you brought in some free agents or re-signed guys to help you up front, like Jaron Reed or Mario Williams, whether it's because you spent a number 5 overall pick, like on Witherspoon. You had a complete facelift defensively. The only thing that didn't change, again, was those two guys that you had as starters, and obviously your defensive coordinator and your overall scheme. You were still a 3-4 base defense with, some 4-3 looks or whatever it was. You are even worse. And I'm so stumped about how you could change so many things, briefly look like you had made improvements, beginning with that game against the Giants, and then fallen back into old habits, missing tackles, right? Failing to wrap up tackles, not applying consistent pressure to the quarterback, allowing explosive plays. I mean, this is stuff that you were doing years ago. I remember a home game against Dallas when Dallas had like 5 plays of 45 or more yards or something crazy like that. And that was when you had like Tedrick Thompson and Shaq Griffin. I mean, that was a mostly different defense, and you were still allowing these same mistakes. What's going on?
I think that, and here's the thing too, man. Last year when Clint Hurtt got the job, I go, look, man, he don't have the pieces that he needs to run the defense that he wants to run. And this year, you go out, you get some guys, right? You get Jones, you got Bobby, Jamal's back, he's healthy. Trey Brown is healthy, right? But I'm looking at the defense, and I think that they're not doing the little things, the fundamentals that I talk about, and they're just outmanned. I think they have the type of player that they want for certain positions, but not the level that they need at that position, right? If you look at just your safeties, you need a safety, one of the safeties that can come down in the box who could play like a linebacker and help against the run. You got that kind of safety. He just ain't playing very good right now. You look at the corners. You need a corner who can lock down one side of the field and be good to go. You drafted one corner who was essentially doing that. Now, he got banged up last game, but now you have a corner who I felt like has taken a step back a little bit. It's the sophomore slump. It happens to a lot of dudes, and I think that's what we're seeing over there. Like, you have physically the attributes, the guys that you need and want to run this defense, but they're just not playing at that level. You look at the interior linemen. Jay Reed started off the season great. He actually played decent last game too. Leonard Williams played good last game. But this is a team sport. When you have 5 or 6 guys playing decent football, then a couple who are struggling, teams are going to exploit that. Teams are going to look for those matchups. They're going to run at guys and throw at guys that they feel like they are better than or that they can exploit. So it's all about getting these guys on the same page and have everybody executing at the same time. Easier said than done, but teams are doing that. You look at the best defenses in the league. Look at the Baltimore Ravens. They got guys executing. If you can get 9 out of 11 guys doing their job at a high level, at a high clip, you have a success rate. So I look at the defense and I go, the body types are there. The execution just isn't there.
Is that what you see as like the biggest problem? Like, if I were to say, what's the biggest problem with the defense? Are you going, guys aren't executing, or are you looking at, I kind of know your answer to this already, but I'm going to ask anyways. Are you looking at scheme? Are you looking at certain mistakes on the field, like tackling being an issue? Like, what are the big issues?
Guys aren't executing.
Yeah.
Guys are getting their eyes in the backfield when they're supposed to be on the tight end. Guys are squatting on routes when they should be getting depth. Guys are arm tackling when they should be wrapping guys up and taking them to the ground. Guys are not rallying to the football. We're watching this game yesterday. It was me, Paul Moyer, Brian Walters, and Big Ray. We're watching the game, and we're looking at the way that Niners defense is flying to the ball. The word we used all day yesterday is they are hunters. They are flying to that football with a speed and aggression that we're just not seeing from the guys on our side. They are playing with a chip on their shoulder, even though they are the best team in the NFL. I'm looking at the passion that the Niners play with, and I go, we're not even matching their passion right now. We're not matching their intensity right now. And then you compound that with just making little mistakes. Again, Guys make mistakes in games.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. That touchdown that DK caught, that corner should have batted that ball down. Just didn't make the play. DK makes the plays. That's what happens in a football game. But when you're playing a team like the 49ers, you can't make those mistakes. Now, let's talk about their last 4 games, right? Of their last 4 games, there's only one game we expected them to win. It was against the Rams. You lose that game.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the Niners and the Cowboys, personnel-wise, they're just better than this team is right now, right? So I think you kind of got to keep it in perspective. I'm not saying be okay with the poor execution, be okay with the missed tackling. I'm just saying, look, Deebo Samuel's a beast. Ayuk is a beast. George Kittle's a beast. McCaffrey is a beast. Dak Prescott is playing like the MVP of the league right now. CeeDee Lamb is going to be all pro this year. Tony Pollard is good. That Cowboys offensive line is one of the best in the league. I'm not saying be okay with those losses, but I'm saying that understand why they lost.
Mm-hmm.
Outmanned, and guys aren't executing. I'm okay with the game plan. I don't see much wrong with the game plan. Offensively, I think you can do a bit more, but this team is just, they are who they are.
Do you ever fear that it is coaches clearly not translating something, or do you ever fear that it's a player mentality? Like, you've got players with the right skills, but do you have players with the right mentality?
I feel like my theme for today is going to be everything. Like, if your players aren't doing what you're asking them to do, then you have to look at the teacher and say, how are you communicating this? You have to switch it up. If players aren't receiving the message, you have to look at the player and say, you are a dang professional. Receive the message, go out there and do your job, right? Or you can look at them and say, maybe you're just not good enough right now to do your job. It's everything, Stacey. It is team meetings, it's walkthroughs, it's practice, it's the team you're playing against who's clearly just better than you. There's a whole lot of stuff going on right now. And even with all that being said, right, they can go 10-7 and maybe sneak into the playoffs. Yeah. Like, we knew this was coming. We knew Niners, Cowboys, Niners, Eagles. We knew it was coming. That's why you got to beat the Bengals. That's why you have to beat the Rams, because we knew this was coming. These teams are just better right now. So sneak one against the Eagles and see what happens. But personnel, coaching, top to bottom, everybody.